So I'm coming again today with a question for you. I need your advice. Once again. So hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my very small place on the internet where I talk about my knitting life. My name is Isabelle, I am in France and I don't want my cat to be drinking in my glass of water. So I am in France and today I'm going to be talking about my regular knitting experience, what has happened in the last 2 weeks since I reported on my knitting last time. And we are quite late in the day. My neighbors are undergoing some kind of construction. They are renovating their whole yard and garden and stuff. So the workers just left and hopefully there won't be any more construction noises. So if that sounds good to you, please stay tuned. So first, as per usual, I'm going to be starting with what I am wearing. And I have to say, I was not wearing that shawl today at work. I was wearing the Painting Triangle shawl by Stephen West, the same one I was wearing last week. So I thought, not wearing twice in a row the same shawl or sweater or something. So I dig that one out that I had not been wearing in a long time. I knit it in cotton. It's a free pattern by Stephen West, once again. It's the Boneyard shawl. And I made it in cotton from We Are Knitters. This is a very simple triangular shawl with garter ridges at some points. And you can choose, and you see I made mistakes, or maybe my cats made a hole. You can choose the increase methods on the spine of the shawl and on the longer length of the shawl. I chose yarn overs. So it's a rather big shawl and it's a triangular shawl. This is the first triangular shawl by Stephen West or by anyone I did knit after I picked up knitting again. And I have to say triangular shawls are not my favorite, and this is how I kind of discovered I prefer crescent shawls or elongated shawls or the triangles that you start with the pointy one end and you increase on one side and it's an asymmetrical triangle, I guess. And I don't like much the true triangular shawls because it makes too big of a point in the back. So I'm wearing the ones I have, that's not a problem, but I prefer other shapes of shawls. So as I said, I knit this one in We Are Knitter recycled cotton. So it's undyed. It's the natural color of the recycled cotton from jeans. So it's maybe, I will have to check, maybe they say there is 1% or 2% of other fibers that come from all the parts that they cannot take out when they recycle the jeans. Maybe there are some bits of threads and stuff like that are left over in the fabric they recycle. So it's recycled from jeans, and I really like this idea. You know that right now I am undergoing this kind of shift towards more local to me natural fibers, although this one is a recycled cotton one, so it kind of fits the bill anyway. More local to me, I would say, and this cotton is quite nice to wear. It's really stiff. It's a bigger gauge. I think it's 17 stitches because I checked the other day when I thought about this shawl. I said, okay, I need to go see how much cotton I have left. And I recalled why. If you have seen my previous video, I said that I had saved 2 t-shirts. I did not recall why, and that I had removed them from my want to make list. I now know why I saved them. It's because I had came across the 5 or 6 balls that are left of this We are knitters cotton that you can knit at 17 stitches gauge. And maybe what I have said, that after I've finished knitting one of my biggest pieces, either the sweater or the shawl that I'm currently working on, I would be casting on another sweater, and I have already everything planned. I may cast on a t-shirt once we are during the summertime, and that would get rid of all the remaining of this cotton. So I need that shawl, another t-shirt, very short sleeves t-shirt that I wore some time ago, not so long ago. And I still have enough, I think, to make another one. So that would be good. That would be all of that out of my stash. So I may cast on a t-shirt before I move to more wintry knits. So I am going to be talking about the projects I'm currently working on because I haven't finished anything. Let's start with the easiest one, as I kind of think it would be. It's the sock for my sons. So that's the sock that I'm knitting for my eldest son, because the one I had dedicated to him was way too big. I'm not sure I recall if I had a little bit less than that last time I talked about it. I haven't worked on it. I haven't almost not worked on it. So that's it for the socks. I haven't been working on it. What I want to be reporting is I want to thank Rita. Is that your name? Rita, I think. Yes, Rita. Rita reached out to me on Ravelry and showed me a pattern, a free pattern, which is more of a recipe. It's called Heels by Number, and it's by Crimini Jiquet. I guess it's a play on words. So it's a free recipe, and I will link it down below. And in that recipe, you have all the calculations that are made to be turning the heel. Of course, with the heel flap and gusset, there may be other heel constructions. I have to say I have saved the file, but I haven't been looking that closely to it. And all the stitches calculations for the heels are presented given of the number of stitches you cast on the leg. Or maybe also you can have it if you need toe up on the foot of the sock. I haven't checked exactly. I've just seen there are different tables with the number of stitches for the heel and the different shapes of heel flap and gussets that you can have. I did not know. I'm using the only one I have been using so far, which is this one by Summerly, and I think you've seen it about everywhere, but there are some square ones, there are some other shapes. So I'll be looking at all of that. And thank you very much, Rita. I think it's going to be very useful for everyone who's kind of wondering, okay, now that I have knit a couple socks, now that I know that many stitches either for this person or for yourself or etc., that needle size. Now, how do I adjust that type of pattern to my preferred feet and my preferred length and my preferred needle size and my preferred yarn? And right now, doing all the calculations, it's not very difficult. It's not very difficult, but I was thinking, oh, I'll see that later. Rita, thank you. Someone has already done it for us, and I will link everything down below as per usual. Okay, next, a big project, Yara. You've followed all the adventures with Yara, all of my questions, all of my hesitations, all of my procrastinations, because at some point I was very impressed by picking up the stitches for the bottom main border, and second, going to to the main chart. It's the slip stitches going to the main chart with Yara. And at those 2 times, I spent several days or even weeks without knitting on it because I was so impressed and I was thinking I would not make it. And one of you say how pleasant it is to be facing a very daunting project that we do not dare going to, and going to it pieces by pieces, little step by little step, and finally finding out it's not that difficult, and in the end succeeding into that project. So Yara is a very satisfying knit to me because I could overcome my fear and fantasies of my fear fantasies. It was more in my fantasy that I was thinking it was going to be very difficult than the reality. So Yara, last night I just started on the border. I'm going to be showing you, and I wanted to be starting on the border to tell you today I was on the border. So that's the border, and I'm going to stand so that you can see it as a whole. My question was, and it's not the question I'm going to be asking you because as you see, I've made already my decision for the color of the border. My kind of thing I was undecided about is that in Natasha Hornby, I'm not sure I said it was Natasha Hornby's pattern. In Natasha Hornby, you made the border with your main contrasting color. So my main color was the dark slate gray. It's Old Gallant Super Soft. And my first contrasting color was this lighter gray. And then I had the white, which is tied in, I'm not sure. I will link it down below, and it's on my project page. And the yellow one is Gold Crest. It's also super soft. And so the border with the little bubbles is supposed to be with the first contrasting color, the CC1. In her sample with the dark and white contrasting color, the border is white, and I like it. I like the white, seeing that white straight line at the border. Thing is, as it's her CC1, there is some white all over here in all of the motifs, and my own white is only within the dots lines where you have CC2 and CC3. And at first I wanted to make the border in white, so that would mean this row would be white, and then the little bubbles and the border and the cast off part would be in white. Then I kind of waited for a bit and thought about it, and the white is here, and it's not supposed to be white, white, white and yellow, and white again at the border. It's supposed to be CC2 at CC1 at the border. So I kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna stay with Natasha's pattern and color recommendation. Of course, if you want to be doing a different border in a different color, it's totally up to you. But I thought it would be more cohesive if I was doing the border with the light gray as she recommends. So this is the border, so that's the bottom of the shawl. One of the difficulties, it's not going to be a difficulty, it's just going to be a bit boring. It's that you have thousands, millions and a half of ends to take care of once it's finished. So the shawl, it's that way. I'm going to be standing up, baby, because it's really big. So you start knitting on one side and you go that way to the other end. I'm not sure which side was the beginning. On that first part, that is going to be the part that is going to be sitting next to you, next to your neck or something on your shoulders. Then you pick up 300 and something stitches here on one of the borders of the first part, because the other one you make a 3-stitch border as you go. So you pick up all of these stitches. So that was my first. The first thing I was afraid of is not to be picking stitches on evenly on all the lengths of the shawl, because it's a very long shawl. So I managed. I did follow the recommendation that Natasha Hornby is giving as to how to be picking up all of these stitches, and I adapted it because there was no way that what she recommended was going to be enough for me to be sure I would pick up evenly all along. Anyway, I managed to do that. Then I did this first part, which is very close to the patterns we already were knitting here. So I did that, and I arrived to the little pops of the contrasting color, and then I had to do the main border. And once again, this shawl went on a halt because I was very afraid of this border, which is not difficult. If you ever want to be knitting Yara, please don't be afraid of the border. The rhythm is very easy to understand. You make a couple repeats and you know what you are going to be doing with the color you are knitting with. I did place stitch markers. I'm not sure I recall where are the beginning and the end of one repeat, let's say it's that way. I did place stitch markers on either side of every repeat. So if I was coming to the stitch marker and I was not having or doing what was recommended over the 20 or so stitches of the repeat, I only had 20 stitches to read back and start again. So that one was recipe for the success. And I'm not sure where my border is. It's on this end. And here is the border with the little bubbles that you knit as you go and as you cast off. So I think I'm going to like it very much. At first, I was thinking, am I making the bubbles or am I just leaving the border as is? But I think the bubbles are really nice. So all in all, I am so happy with this shawl. If you are considering casting it on, do not hesitate. I think it's going to be stunning to people who do not know how simple it can be, provided one, you place stitch markers on either side of the repeats so that you don't get lost and do not carry on a mistake as you knit and that you haven't been catching up before, because you end up with 460 something stitches. So if you are one stitch off at the end, it's going to be a bummer to be unraveling all of that. That said, and if you are very meticulous into the method to be picking up the stitches on the border, you will be able to pick up very evenly and you will end up with this border that is just perfect. So I am extremely happy with it. I do encourage you, I know a couple of you have the pattern, if you want to cast it on, it's going to be a longer project, depending on the time you are working on it and the time that you have. It's going to be a longer project. That is for sure. It's not something that you can whip out in an evening. Of course not. But all in all, it's a very satisfying knit. Okay, next. The one I'm going to be asking for your opinion and maybe for advice if you have any. My Gallant sweater by Kadri that I knit with this incredible knitted end. I just finished the second plate and I'm at midway in the first sleeve. Of knitted end, this is the Val colorway. It's an incredible blue. I'm pairing it with Lang mohair, the better one that has 40% mohair in it. And it's making this incredible fabric that is quite soft, still heathered. And the one of you who gave me the yarn was so inspired when you got that yarn for me, and I guess you have made also a sweater with it. Anyway, I'm not sure I recall where I was last time. If I don't think I had finished the bottom of the sweater. Anyway, for now, this is this way. I have casted on the first sleeve. So this is how much two plates of Nutiden took me, the whole body and a bit of a sleeve. So I have way enough. My comment, because it's a real pet peeve of mine. Is that the way you say a pet peeve? Something that bothers me every time. I do not like when stockinette rolls. I know why stockinette rolls, because when you need your little stitches, the thread that is at the front of the stitch is just a tad shorter than the thread that is at the back. You know, your stitches are not flat. There is a front leg and a back leg. And when you knit, you make a loop. The loop in the front is a bit shorter than the loop in the back. On one stitch or two stitches, no problem. On a big piece like that, what's going to happen is that all the front little stitches will be a bit shorter. On the back little stitches will be a bit longer. It will create tension. And nature wants to be at the lowest of the equilibrium of forces and stuff that is applied to them. So this is when our planets and stuff are around, because it's the least state of energy for matter to be condensed, at least of that structure, because sometimes some other type of matter make crystals and stuff. But the liquider part of the matter, the least level of energy is a sphere. So as the front is way shorter than the back, the little stitches, all of them added up on a large piece of stockinette makes it roll up. And on Kadri's pictures, it's not rolling up. So I said, okay, maybe the I cord will make it not roll up. I thought it would not be the case, that it would still roll up, and it does still roll up. So I made the I cord on 4 stitches, the way that Kadri recommended. And what my first comment is that it's way too big. So I'm going to show it to you that way, because I can still be somewhere in the frame and see what I'm doing. I think 4 stitches is too big of a border. You see, there is the thickness of the I cord. It's too big. So that's my first comment. If I am to finish up the sweater with an I cord, and if I am to redo the border, because I can't stand a border that is rolling up. If you like that, good. I don't. I do not. So if I'm going to be making the border again, the cast off again, and if I keep an I cord, would you do the 4 stitches again? Is that shocking to you? It's not too shocking to me, but I think it's a bit too thick compared to the rest of the fabric, and I would much prefer maybe 2 stitches or 3, maybe 3 stitches. 3 stitches is still going to be quite thick, so maybe 2 stitches. That's my first question. That one is not very difficult. The second one is, do you have any experience with one technique that I have read somewhere, that to prevent from rolling, what do? We put ribbing at the bottom of the sweater or of the knitted piece. Why does it prevent rolling? Because you alternate knit and purls, so you distribute the tension evenly on this part of the fabric. And if it's long enough, if you do just 1 or 2 rows, this is what I have done here, it kind of prevents from rolling, but not completely. I can do with that, not completely. If you do 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, that is between 1 and 2 inches, this is enough to distribute the forces evenly on the piece of fabric you've just knit, and that that balances out the curling that the stockinette wants to do, and then everyone is flat. So one method I have seen to prevent stockinette rolling is to knit 1 purl row, and I would say maybe I would knit 2, because this is a large piece of fabric and it's going to be wanting to be rolling. So maybe knit 1 or 2 rows of purls of reverse stockinette and bind off with the I-cord, and maybe make the I-cord with purls instead of knits. Have you ever done that? I have been looking for examples. Maybe I haven't been looking enough. I haven't spent that much time looking for that. Have you been looking? Do you have any experience with that method? That means knit 1 row in a reverse stockinette in purls, or maybe 2 rows, and then leaving it as is or making an I-cord. Will it be enough to break the curling thing? So the curling behavior. What I was going to do, because you see my sleeves, if I just leave the sleeve do what they want, or do what it wants, it sort of curling on itself already. So my thinking was maybe to try it on the bottom of the sleeve, because if it does not work, it's less to unravel, and see if it works. If it works, that would not mean that it would work on the bottom of the sweater, because there is a lot more of fabric that is going to be tending to roll up, so the forces will be stronger than on the sleeves maybe. I will try. What do you think? And if I can't make it, what do you think about finishing the border a regular ribbing 1 by 1, or I'm not sure what I did here, 1 by 1, making a little 1 by 1 ribbing? It's gonna be changing the whole look of the sweater from the pattern. I have no problem with that, with making patterns my own and making modifications. I have no problem with that. But do you think that with this sweater, a ribbing at the sleeve and at the bottom of the sweater will be okay? Because that's one of the trademarks of the Gallant sweater, is the I-cord at the bottom of the sleeve and at the bottom of the sweater. And I'm going to be modifying that a lot. So you should, she said you can knit at the collar either 1 by 1 ribbing or the I-cord. So I did the ribbing, because when I went to Atelier Paulin, several of the ladies have knit that pattern, and this is where I saw the sweaters, and I really liked the fact that it's extremely simple. It lets the yarn really shine and really be the center of the show. The pattern is very simple. All of their colors were rolling. That kind of okay for a color, but I really, really, really don't like the way it rolls at the bottom. And what they told me is that it goes out with blocking. I don't think it will go out with blocking. I don't think so. So, because there is too much of a fabric, the fabric is very soft, and I would say, how can I say that? The fabric is very supple. It's not drapey. It's not drapey, but you can manipulate the fabric, so that means it's going to be curling a lot. So I think I would need at least the equivalent of an inch or 2.5 or 3 or 4 centimeters of ribbing to prevent the curling. So, what do you think? What would you do? The weather is not that nice, so I can still work on winter sweaters, even though we are in July. What would you do? I want to finish it. I want to love it, because I love everything about it, except that curling, and it's really something I do not like at all. I made one t-shirt. I should wear it next time. I made one t-shirt, a v-neck t-shirt, where you intentionally make, so I'm not sure I recall, you make like a little ridge at the border, and then you knit a couple rows or 4 rows of stockinette so that it curls, but it curls up to that little ridge. That was the design element, and I liked it. No problem. I don't like it there, and I don't like when my fabric curls when it's not what I want it to be doing. So this is also the last ball of mohair I'm using. I will have plenty to be finishing and maybe doing another accessory for my machical to go along with the sweater. I'm so bummed. And do you want me to be completely honest? I thought that was going to be happening. I went ahead anyway because I really wanted to see it and say, okay, maybe the pattern is not lying and it's going to be finishing up completely straightened up with the I-cord. It doesn't. So, yeah. I'm going to be trying my method, although it's not my method. I'm going to be trying the method I found somewhere, I read somewhere. I don't recall. I could not find it again. So if you know who suggested that method, please tell me down below in the comment section so that I can give credits and retrieve that. If not, there you have it. This is what I read, and that's what I'm going to be trying on my sleeves. And we'll see. But in the meantime, if you have other ideas, if you have had this experience, if you've knit that sweater or some sweater that is equivalent with in stockinette with an I-cord border, how did you manage not the border to curl up? If it does curl and if you like it, perfect. Thing is, I don't. So I need to be wrapping that up quite quickly because there is a music festival that is 20 minutes walking away from my house. I go every year. I have tickets. It starts tonight. I have tickets for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I haven't sold them again. I haven't sold them out because my physical therapist said just go for one show. It's going to be very expensive if I go for just one show each day, but she said you are giving up so much right now that don't give that up. Go for one show or maybe 2 and come back home, and I think that's what I'm going to be doing. Anyway, the festival starts tonight. We are on a Wednesday. And I'm starting to hear it because it's usually very, very, very loud. So I need to wrap my video up now. There is one more thing I wanted to be talking about is that I've been swatching for Alary. And I've just checked, Alari's gauge is 14 stitches, and my gauge with the Lensoulé Pommier bulkier yarn is 17. So I think it's going to be okay. Alari has a large, so it's 5 or 6 millimeter needles, I'm not sure. 6 millimeter needles. So is that what Alari recommends? Yes, 6 millimeter needles. So my stitches are a bit smaller, and so I will most probably have to knit a bigger size. Alari is very size inclusive, or there are a lot of sizes between, I'm going to tell in centimeters, but it's between 87 and 188 centimeters. So there's plenty of room for me to adjust for my own gauge. So that's not a problem. I like the fabric. You see, this is the chocolate color. I like the fabric. I like the way it looks. Of course, I've made a bit of a garter at the bottom, and stockinette stitch rolls up even in a very small swatch as this one. I like it, and I think it's going to be working. So I like the fabric. It's quite stiff. It won't be drapey, and I think that with the cables, this fabric is going to be nice enough. So I've been swatching for that because I was thinking I'm not far off from being finished either on Yara or on Gallant, so I need to swatch. That I did. Swatching and looking for that shawl for today, I recalled I have 5 full balls, untouched balls. This is deep stash, several years, of this recycled cotton yarn by We Are Knitters. It's knit with 5 millimeter needles, 95%. I was saying 90. There were 2% other fibers. It's 5% other fibers, not are mainly from threads and stuff. And you can knit it with 5 millimeter needles. And I think I have enough. It's 100 gram balls. It's 192 meters, so I have 5 of them. So that and a bit more. I have 5 full balls, and that is most probably close to a ball. So I have almost 6 balls. So I have 1,100 and some meters. It's enough for short sleeve t-shirts, I'm sure. It's this, you see, it's a different color. It's the same yarn. When you have it on a large, or maybe it's the light. When you have it on a larger piece and the small balls, the small condensed piece. I know why I was looking for t-shirts the other day. I retrieved that, and I kind of had a look for t-shirts that I have, that the patterns are in my library that I own, or that are for free with a gauge. I think it's also 17 stitches for this yarn that I have been knitting another sweater and the shawl with. And so I think I'm going to be casting on, before I cast on Alari, I'm going to be casting on Canyon Clay, that is by Drops Design. It's a pattern from April 2020, 17 stitches, so it's right on 5 millimeter needles, so that's perfect for that yarn. It's the same, absolutely the same gauge that I've been knitting with, and it needs at most, it's XXL, at most 225 meters of cotton. So I will have enough for another small scarf or something with that. I think I will be casting it on. What I liked, there are 265 project with that pattern, and what I like is the ribbed sleeves. So it's not a saddle shoulder, it's more like a raglan. I haven't looked at the pattern. The rest is plain stockinette and rib stitch at the bottom. I had other patterns in mind that I had seen with ribs all over, but as you know, right now I've been kind of conscious of my body shape, and when you look at the project, try to find people that have the same kind of body shape as you and see how the sweater does, how it fits them, and if you like the fit. And I know that with pure ribbing, I wanted to be doing that. I don't think that pure ribbing right now is gonna be making me happy and that will be wearing it up. I like a bit more boxy pieces so that I can hide myself a little bit more. So I think I'm going to be casting on this one. I have forgotten the name already. Canyon Clay. Canyon Clay. Before I cast Alary on. So be it. You'll know what I'm doing next once I'm finished with my 2 current bigger projects. Okay, we've made it. We've made it through today's video. I hope you enjoyed my little ramblings and everything. I hope you will have a way to be helping me deciding what to do on the border of Gallant, because I would like that clean finish. And as I was talking, I sort of remembered about something. Maybe a double layer. Plain stockinette, but a double layer so that it lays flat. What do you think? Anyway, I was just thinking about that. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to my little rambling. Reading your comments brings me so much joy. And Rita also said that she was very happy when she was seeing my video popping up onto her feed, and that sometimes she was quite laughing what I was saying or doing. So anyway, you are the reason why I'm doing these little videos, so that we can have some interaction, so that we can talk in the comment section, and you bring me much joy and happiness. And I do hope that you manage to also place joy and happiness into your life during your knitting. Just consciously place happy thoughts in your little stitches when you knit. And if you can't place happy things for yourself, please do it for the other people and send them out. Not sure what Ramses is going to be doing. Okay. And send them out to other people, and it will have you. I can't take a picture of him because I'm filming with my camera. He has his head into my knitting bag. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, place joy and happiness into your knitting and send it out for other people. In the process, you will be making joy for yourself. So yes, I thank you very much for being here with me. I do hope you manage to be knitting things that you like and you have a bit less of a problem than me. And I hope I will see you next time. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. Top. So first, as per usual, what am I wearing? This is not the shawl I was wearing at work today. I was wearing the same shawl I was wearing on my previous video. So I said I need to change it, and you haven't seen that one in quite a long time. And it goes with my t-shirt, and I have a dress underneath anyway. So this is the Boneyard Shawl by Stephen West. Don't step on my keyboard. What are you doing? What are you doing? Let's try. No, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about my work in progress, the 3 work in progress